Hi again everyone, this is Otis with Appear's Mobile Site Diary. Today's video is about adding users. The first thing we want to do once we log in, if you're the administrator of your organization's site diary system, you will have a view that entails 5 icons. That will include your home button, screen settings, users, solutions, which could include your mobile site diary and safety application, different types of solutions that will be part of the system. And then your extensions, which essentially takes you to your sites. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be focused on adding new users. Just very quickly, we'll take a peek in the extensions. That's because there will be 2 sites in there. Once you have created your account on the website, you will have 2 sites automatically set up for you so you can trial the solution. What I'll do very quickly, I'll go ahead and rename my projects. So I'll head in here, go into my settings, change that to Times Square project. Okay. And then I will also change this one. Let's see, London Bridge project. Lovely. So I've got 2 projects. And what I'd like to do, let me just head back out to my home screen. I want to add new users to my system. Okay, so in this video, we'll add new users, and then we'll actually assign them to the project that you want them to have visibility on. All right. So I go into my user button, which can be accessed from the 4 tabs or one of the tabs at the top. Okay, and you can see already I have myself added as a user. So I'll go ahead and add a second user. And I will call him Vince. Full name. Email address. And you can create a password. Alright, that's all set. And then you give him permissions. And this is important. So when you go into your roles and permissions, you can identify what credentials you'd like this person to have, and you would like them to access the application on their mobile device, so you select device. Then you would also like to give them the opportunity to access the back office, which is the web interface. If you don't want them to have access to the web interface where they can review some of their records on their PC, this is something that then you would not click. Okay, but we want to give them access to the back office as well, so they can go in there and review any entries they've made. All right, so that's a back office and device. Those are the 2 basic roles and permissions that you would typically give to a new user. If that user you would like that user to be able to create resources within your organization, then you would want to assign that user with a site administrator credentials. Okay, and this site administrator probably similar to yourself. He can see all of the sites, he can see all of the details and information, anything related to the sites or the organization's projects. A site administrator will be able to see. Okay, if you don't want that person to be able to see all the projects, you certainly don't give them site administrator. The other role that you would be able to assign, or we typically assign to you, is the administrator. And this is the only role that can add users. Okay, so if you have not been assigned administrator, you will not see the user tab or any of these other tabs at the top. Okay, so you probably don't want to give administrator role to anyone in your organization unless it's someone you want to actually administer the system, add users, add resources, and things like that. Okay, so for now, just adding a user will give them a device and back office credentials. All right. In a group, you can typically assign what project they're on and so on. For now, we don't need to do that. It's very early on. They have not been assigned anything yet. So we just give them their roles and permissions. We click save, and that's it. He's added to the system. All right. We will go back. We'll see his name. Then we'll add a second user, just so that we can show the differences. So we'll add a new user and we'll call him Brian Williams. All right, password credentials. All right, same thing for the roles. We give him device, we give him back office, and then we click save. Okay, so now I've got 2 new users added to my system, and that's just the first stage. Now that I've added them to the system, I now need to activate them in the solution that they should access. This particular step is primarily here once we add new solutions. So at the moment, the current solution that is available to everyone is the site diary application. If we were to add a second application, let's call it health and safety or resource management or anything like that, then you would then decide if you want to give a user access to that application or that solution. So this is where we have solution management. So at the moment we have one solution in there, that's the site diary. We click on that, and then we will see all the details related to our solution, and then we can decide who are the members in that solution. Okay, as we know, we've got 3 users in the organization. I myself am an administrator, so I already am having access to that particular solution. And then I'll click on the members list and I can see all the users that are in my organization. So I will add Vince and then I will add Brian. Okay, and now both these guys I've added, and they're now available to access the solution once their credentials are shared with. So when they log in, they will be able to see the application site diary, the same as if we would add any other application in there. For instance, there's application feedback and site diary, which will be in your app once you log in. You've probably seen that now if you're already an administrator on the system. And now that's essentially the most important part about adding the user. You've created the user and then you've added that person to the solution of the site diary. Okay, so they're now able to access the system once they receive their credentials. Now, once they receive their credentials, they will be able to log in, but you have not assigned this user to a site. Okay, so now they're in the system, they're in our organization. I've given them access to the applications that I want them to see. So I want them to see the site diary application. And now that I've done that, I also want to make sure that they can see the correct site. Okay, so I will go into my extensions. In this section, we'll focus on assigning the user to his site. So we go into extensions, which is where our projects are listed. And on London Bridge, I believe that's where I would like to have the first user I created, which was Vince. Okay, so I'm already on that site. When I go into London Bridge, I go directly to the access control tab on the left. Okay, and I click access control. I'll see a list of any users that are already on this site. My name, Otis, is not on the site because I'm administrator. By default, we don't show the administrative names or anything like that. Only regular users. Okay, so if I click on the click add name right here, it will give me a list of all the users that are in my organization that I just created. Okay, so I just created all these names, and I believe that I would like to have Vince on this project, so I have added him. I go ahead and click add. He's now here. He can be a user or a power user. A power user is someone that can select from the different tabs over here. They will be able to select what labor types and plan types and details can be used on a site. They cannot add them, which is what you do as an administrator in the global resources. If they need something added, the administrator will have to do that. But they can select and configure what they want on the site. So I can make him a power user. Okay, and I have to remember to click save. Once I click save, that's successfully saved. He's a power user. When he logs in, he will have the ability to select and deselect any of these items. If he believes it's not useful for his project or it's not needed on his project, he doesn't want to crowd his interface, he can go ahead and do that. A power user can do that. Okay, he can deselect a few items. If I were to make him a regular user, when he logs in, he would not see any of these tabs, and therefore he would not be able to deselect or select. The only thing a user will see is the events tab, and when he clicks on that, He will see, of course, all the events that have been entered on his project. If he wants to do it, come into the back office and review that. This is what he'll come here and review everything. It will be the same as if he was on his mobile device. As you can see, you can also add an event on the desktop as well, the same as you can do on your mobile device. You know, for whatever reason you might need to do that. So I've assigned Vince to London Bridge, and when he logs in, he will only see London Bridge. And then I will go to my Times Square project, and all the tabs are here that, you know, similar situation. I go into access control, and I see that out of my user list, I've got a guy, Brian. Okay, I want to assign Brian here. Just so you know, if I wanted to assign Vince, I could as well. If he is on both projects, you know, I could actually assign him and add him to that project. But of course, London Bridge and Times Square quite far away, so we know Brian will be on that one on his own. All right, so Brian will be on that project. I'll make him a power user as well, and I click save, and that's it. Both guys, when they log in, they won't see any of these tabs. It will take them directly to this view. It will take them to this view, and Vince will only see the London Bridge project, and Brian will only see the Times Square project. They will not see both of them. So that's something, of course, you're free to test that out on your mobile device as well. Create a user, add him to a site, make him a power user, make him a regular user, whatever you like, and log in with those credentials. You'll notice each guy can only see the projects that he's been assigned to. If you have someone that is on multiple projects, or maybe a third-party supplier that you would like to participate in diary entries as well, and you've got a license for him, then you can have him also get invisibility on multiple projects as well, so that he can enter his reports and so on. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks again for your time. Thanks for joining us today on tips and tricks with a pair networks and the mobile site diary. Look forward to getting any feedback from you guys soon. Feel free to email us at support@mobilesitediary.com. Take care. Bye-bye.